One stormy night in the empty desert, a cowboy's old rope trap caught something far more precious than any animal, a wounded Apache woman who would quietly steal a piece of his broken heart. The desert stretched wide and silent under a black sky. Wind screamed across the dry hills like 1,000 angry ghosts. Heavy rain poured down in thick sheets, turning the ground into slippery red mud. Lightning flashed every few seconds, lighting up the lonely rocks and cactus plants. In the middle of this wild storm, Jack sat inside his small canvas tent. He was a tall man with a dusty hat, worn boots, and a face that showed many hard years. His campfire fought to stay alive, popping and hissing as raindrops hit the flames. Jack had come to this wild land many years ago after losing everything. His wife, Mary, had been his whole world. She had soft brown hair and a laugh that made every day brighter. But one cold winter, a terrible fever took her away in just 3 days. Jack held her hand until the end, feeling helpless. After her funeral, he sold their small farm, picked up his rifle and ropes, and rode far into the desert. He became a trapper, catching rabbits, foxes, and coyotes for their fur. He spoke to almost no one. Guns and fights made him sick now. He only wanted quiet and peace. That evening, before the storm grew strong, Jack had set a strong rope trap near a hidden water hole. He hoped to catch a rabbit for supper. Now, in the dark and rain, he went to check it. His boots sank into the mud with every step. When he reached the trap, he froze. The rope was tight around a person, not an animal. It was a woman, an Apache woman. Her long black hair stuck to her face in wet strands. Her brown skin was covered in mud. Her right leg was twisted in the ropes and bleeding badly. Her simple deerskin dress was torn at the shoulder. She looked exhausted, angry, and very scared. Her dark eyes burned like hot coals, watching him closely. Jack's heart jumped. In 1880s Arizona, cowboys and Apache people were enemies. Many battles had happened. Apache warriors were known for their bravery, and cowboys for their guns. He knew she might have a hidden knife. She might scream or try to attack. But when he looked closer, he saw she was in real pain. She could not stand up, blood mixed with rain on her leg. Jack felt a sharp sadness in his chest. He remembered Mary's suffering. He did not want to cause more pain to anyone. He spoke slowly, keeping his hands open and empty. "Easy now, ma'am. I'm not here to hurt you." She did not understand all the words, but his calm voice and lowered gun told her something. Jack pulled out his sharp hunting knife. Very slowly he cut the thick ropes. One by one they fell away. The woman dropped to her knees, free but too weak to run. She breathed hard, waiting for the worst. The storm grew worse. Thunder crashed like giant drums. Jack knew he could not leave her in the pouring rain. She would die from cold or her wounds. "Come with me," he said gently, pointing toward his tent and fire. He offered his arm. After a long moment of doubt, she took it. They walked slowly through the mud, step by step. She leaned on him heavily. Inside the tent, he helped her sit on a dry blanket near the warm fire. She still watched him like a wild deer ready to bolt. Jack worked quietly. He added more dry wood to the fire until it blazed bright and pushed the cold away. From his saddlebag, he took clean cotton strips, a small jar of ointment made from desert plants, and a bottle of fresh water. He knelt in front of her. "This'll sting a little, but it'll help." Carefully, he washed the deep rope cuts on her leg with clean water. She winced but did not pull away. He spread the soft ointment and wrapped the bandage tight, but not too tight. Then he gave her a tin cup of hot coffee mixed with a little sugar. Next came warm beans from his pot and a thick piece of cornbread. She ate slowly, never taking her eyes off his face. The fire crackled. Rain hammered the tent like 1,000 tiny drums. Jack sat at the opposite side, giving her space. After she finished eating, the woman spoke her first words. She knew a few English words from trading with white men. Her voice was low and careful. "Why you help me? You cowboy, Apache, enemy, you should kill."
Jack stared into the dancing flames for a long time. Rain dripped from the tent edges. Finally, he told her the truth that he had kept inside for years. "I once had a wife," he said softly. "Her name was Mary. She was beautiful and kind. We lived on a small farm. One winter, she got very sick with fever. I sat by her bed day and night, giving her water, singing old songs. But the fever was stronger. She died in my arms. After that, I could not fight anymore. I left everything. Guns, anger, killing. I am tired of all of it. When I saw you in my trap, hurt and alone, I remembered Mary's pain. I cannot add more hurt to this world. Not tonight." The woman listened without moving. Her hard eyes slowly softened. She touched the clean bandage on her leg and gave a small nod. She pointed to herself and said, "Leela." Jack smiled for the first time in months. "I am Jack." That simple exchange felt like a door opening between two lonely worlds. They talked a little more that night, using words, hand signs, and gestures. Leela told him she had been running for 2 days. Bad white men had come to her people's land, trying to take it by force. Her father and brothers were gone. She was the last one left from her small family. The storm had washed away her trail and made her fall into the trap. Jack listened without interrupting. He gave her his warmest extra blanket. Leela wrapped it around her shoulders and lay down near the fire. For the first time in many nights, she felt safe enough to close her eyes. Jack stayed awake most of the night. He watched the storm slowly die down. He thought about his empty days and how one person's kindness had changed everything. The fire kept burning low and steady. When the sun rose the next morning, the desert looked fresh and clean. Puddles sparkled like silver coins. Birds sang from the wet cactus. Leela stood up slowly. Her leg was still sore, but the bandage had stopped the bleeding. She could walk. Jack did not try to stop her. He packed a small cloth bag with dried meat, beans, and a full water skin. He handed it to her. "You are free to go, Leela. No ropes, no gun. Go find your people." Leela looked at him for a long, quiet moment. Her dark eyes held something new, respect and a touch of sadness. She did not say "thank you" in words, but she placed one hand over her heart and bowed her head slightly. Then she turned and walked into the bright desert morning. Jack stood outside his tent and watched until she became a small dark shape against the far hills, then disappeared completely. The desert felt bigger and emptier than ever.
3 days later, while Jack was packing his tent to move to a new camp, something small caught his eye on the ground near the fire circle. He picked it up. It was a tiny Apache charm, a circle of colorful beads and soft eagle feathers woven together with thin leather, a protection token. Leela must have left it while he slept that stormy night. Jack held it gently in his rough hands. It was light, but full of meaning. He tied the leather string around his neck and let the charm rest against his chest. From that day on, whenever the wind blew cold or the nights felt too long, Jack touched the little charm. It reminded him of Leela's brave eyes, the crackling fire, and the short but real trust they had shared. He never saw her again. Years passed. Jack kept trapping and wandering across the wide desert, but he was no longer that bitter, lonely man. The charm taught him that even between enemies, kindness could grow like a small desert flower after rain. Far away in her hidden Apache village, Leela also kept a memory. She had saved a small piece of the white bandage cloth Jack had tied on her leg. When she told her people the story around the night fire, she always said, "The cowboy could have killed me, but he chose to heal me instead." She never forgot the tall man with the sad eyes who gave her back her life on the stormiest night of all. The desert kept its secrets. The wind still howled and the rain still fell, but in two quiet hearts, one cowboy and one Apache woman, a warm light now burned forever. A light born from one simple trap, one wild storm, and one brave choice to be kind instead of cruel. Thank you for riding along on this story. Drop your location and time one more time if you'd like, and if it touched you, send some stars, follow, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. See you in the next tale.